Hi everyone, my name's Lou Sims and a huge welcome to my channel. It's the start of a new month, which means a fantastic collaboration with a wonderful bunch of creatives from Crafting Together with All Brands. This month for our YouTube hop with Crafting Together with All Brands, our theme is Christmas or winter presents. And I really struggled here because I didn't actually want to make a present per se, and I didn't want to make a box or anything like that. So I went back to something that we did in school with the children, but I've slightly tweaked it to work for me. So what I've done is I've made some gift tags, and these would be added to our presents. But these little pieces that you see on the top here are all come away and make decorations and make a gift present as well. So a little keepsake present that you can do for Christmas. Now I'm going to be focusing on this one here and how I've made it and how, to make the little it's an ornament really, but more to show about how that works and how they all look. Towards the end of this video you can see it all. So I'm going to put these away. I'm going to get all my supplies out to make this gift tag and also make the ornament, and I'll be back shortly. Right, let's make the tag that our decoration is going to go on, and I'm going to use a mixture of different stamps from my own collections, and the main one I'm going to use for the moment is going to be the Remember That stamp, because I think this has quite a nice look of a Christmas tree sort of look to it, and when you see the pot coloured that way as well. So I'm going to lay down some colour, I'm going to bring in some stencils, and we'll get building. I'm going to begin my background using my Hanging Garden stencil with crushed olive distress ink, and I'm just putting down a little bit. I don't want to cover the whole of the tag, just a little bit of the area. And then using the numbers stencil with peeled paint, it's just a little bit of extra detailing there and a little bit of contrast in the green, really. A bit of shading around the outside of the tag, and that's my actual background with stencils done. In the stamp set, you get a sentiment or a repeat sentiment, but it's really there for you to create quick backgrounds, as you can see. I'm going to use the main focal image, and I'm using my VersaFine Clair, and I'm going to stamp right on the top. I've gone for a similar colour in the VersaFine that I think will work with the green. Now, using the peel paint, I'm literally going to loosely watercolour in the actual tree elements and the leaf elements in the actual green. Next, using the Lumberjack Plaid, I'm going to colour in the flowers, the berries. So I'm going for traditional Christmas colours. I know they're not poinsettias, but it's to give that illusion. And then to colour in 3 of the stripes on the actual pot. This just ties in, like a traditional green, a modern Christmassy sort of look. I'm not sure I was going there. Now I'm stamping out some additional pieces, and they'll be used as decoration and ribbon captures, but more of that later. To begin with, what we need to do is to create our ornament is cut 5 pieces of card exactly the same size. I've gone with 2" by 2". But as you can scale it up, you can scale it down, go with what works for you. I'm stamping on one side with the same sentiment stamp I did in the background. And I've started first with peel paint, and then I'm doing an extra one, and I'm going to use a black ink. That will be used in a completely different way. Now, I'm going to edge each of the pieces with the same peel paint. I just thought, I don't know, I just thought it looked nicer that way. Didn't look quite so cold or clinical. Don't know. I'm not sure. I think I'm just waffling there. Anyhow, Turning them over, I'm decorating this side and I'm using the Lumberjack plaid. And I am randomly placing the same image. I'm not worried about a clear, crisp image. This is a background, and it's just a nod to the other stamps I've actually used. So I'm going to do the same on all of the 5 panels. And then I'm just watercolouring them out with a paintbrush and a little bit of water. No precise colouring. Go with what works for you. For me, I just wanted to keep the backgrounds of these quite loose. And then I started out doing exactly the same I did with the other side, which was edging it with the peel paint. And I really wasn't feeling the lighter look. So I thought, oh, let's try it a little bit darker. And I much prefer this. I don't know why, but it just felt more of a completed background. And then this is a bit more inky compared to the other side where the sentiment in the peel paint is. So I'm doing it on absolutely every single piece. Now for the folding, I've actually slowed the video down and I'm doing it in real time. So you're going to take one piece, fold in half, rotate it and fold in half again. And then go corner to corner so it creates one diagonal. And they are the only folds you need. So fold in half, rotate, fold in half again, and then open up and fold diagonally. And I'm going to do that now for all of the pieces. So now what we're trying to do is, it's a bit like tea bag folding from ages gone by. And where the diagonal is, that is going to be the bit that moves into the center. So as you can see, I'm creasing the diagonal line, I'm pushing those bits in, and I'm bringing the outside edges up. So it then creates like a pincer sort of movement. And I'm going to do that on all of the 5 pieces that we've done. So it's going to be push the diagonal pieces in and then bring the side pieces up. So I'm going to, now what we're going to do is we're going to glue to create a concertina. And what I find easy to do is, when I do the first one, is to hold right at the top. And then I know that's going to be the opening, the bit that fans out for everybody to see. And I'm joining each of the panels, lining them all up on top of each other, and they'll create that concertina open look when we've, when it's all finished. So gluing them all in place, making sure it's in, and then I've just clipped it together. Not sure why I added the gold ink, but I just actually thought it added a little bit of subtle sparkle, I suppose Christmas sparkle. So now, once it's actually dry, I'm opening it up and I'm just double checking that nothing's been glued together. There'll be nothing worse than that. And just practicing opening and closing it. So as you can see, the different shape it makes. Now the 2 edges that join together is where the ribbon is going to be done. That is going to open and close the actual, I suppose it's like a star shape. And what I've used is, you saw me stamp earlier the little like rosette look, and I thought they would be nice because they would tie in with the rest of the design. Now I'm using red liner tape, and that really is for the purposes of the video. I would normally use glue and let it go off properly, because obviously if it's going to be open and closed a lot, I want it to stay in place. And I'm going to do exactly the same on both sides. So I'm just trapping the ribbon in place, I'm putting it on that panel, and then it's all done. Now to thread through the bead, the easiest thing I found was by putting another piece of tape on the end of the ribbon, and it just, I didn't have a darning needle, so it acted a bit like a darning needle. So as you can see, the bead is in place, it holds everything down. When it's open, pull the bead up, and when it's closed, you've got it in, in one place. Now, to secure this one, all I've done is I've just put ribbon through the hole, and where you've got the loop, before you pull those ends up tight, I've actually just threaded through my little embellishment. Now, I did stamp earlier the sentiment again, the background sentiment with black ink. And what I've done is I've just cut it up and I'm adding it in places because I thought it would be nice if you're putting this on someone's present. The words are, "You are amazing. Just remember that." And I thought that would be really nice to add, you know, to a present. So the extra bits that I had left over from the ribbon captures, or I'm just adding those in. I'm cutting some in half. So I'm just making them go as, you know, as far as possible, really. And it just ties in the designs. The Winter Wishes sentiment is from, I want to say a Stampers Anonymous set, but I'm not sure which one. So I've just outlined it in with a black alcohol ink pen, and I'm placing it down. So that is my tag absolutely finished. Okay, so here's the finished tag as you saw being made. So to release this part here, I mean, I haven't tied the ribbon at the top here in, you know, into a knot. So this can slide out, which means now we just slide the bead up, and it's the same principle for all. This then goes all the way around and joining those two pieces together, like so. And then you just slide the bead back in place. Push it like that. And then these can move these so they go out. And you've now got, I'm sorry, I'm wrestling with the bead here. Do as you're told. Thank you. So now you've got that sort of star shape on either side, and you've got the decoration on the inside. And then when you want to close it up, or just push it down, push the bead in place, and it actually closes back up. I'm just going to put it back there just so. This one, I'm going to jump to this one now quickly. Now this one here is done on a more heavier weight card. So this was done on something like a 220. This has been done on a 250 card. And I originally thought when you see it open like that, it was because of the weight of the card. I don't think it is. What I think it is the twine. I wanted to use the twine, and I think there's too much movement in the twine and the bead hole. So I would need to use a narrower bead. So all I've done is I've just, I've made this one more like a little booklet that you could write in traditionally. And I've tied this into a bow up there. And I've just threaded that on, as you can see. Now this one, I kept the string a little bit shorter. I wanted to see if that works. So it opens up exactly the same way. Goes all the way around. Joins. And then the bead goes down, and it creates the star pattern, and you've got the detail. So this one I actually stamped and I coloured with pencils, and it's on a heavier weight card, so you could easily do that as well. But I do think that I would need to change the bead on that one, so it wasn't quite a bigger, you know, opening there. And this time around, all I did was just threaded it through, and then just tied a bow to hold it in place. And I've just done the background on the card is the same stamps to my Shady Design Starflower as I've used to create that embellishment. So that's that one there. Now this one I've done completely with double-sided papers. So this is the Tim Holtz Ideology collection that came out this year. And I've used, like I said, double-sided papers. Now, one thing's, I'm just going to put it here, when I trapped the ribbon, I actually used, you know, an embellishment like you see in the background. For this one, I've actually, to trap the ribbon, I've just made myself a little panel of card and gone over the top. So there's lots of different ways you can use it. Again, I'm just did a bow. And because I was using like a chiffon ribbon, I did tie a knot. But fingers crossed, hope I didn't do a double knot. No, I didn't. Phew. Right, so I'm just going to open that up. That slides off. Again, the bead goes up. this goes all the way around, and those two panels join together. So as you can see the panels, the bead goes down and it creates exactly the same shape, but because I've used double-sided papers, it is a quicker way. Well, depends on what you want to do, but it's a quick way of doing it, because all you've got to do is cut the papers and do your creasing, and you've created that embellishment. Again, the bead just slides up, folds down in place, and then you just push the bead to keep it down. And then I've created a tag using the different ephemera pieces from Tim Holtz. Can still write on the back. And again, this one can sit on there, and I just did, as I said, a bow to hold it in place. You know, I'm not a bow person because I can't tie them very well, but here we go. And let's neaten that out a little bit more. There we go, make it a bit even. I would do a better bow than that. As you can see, bows aren't my forte. So we've got the same idea, but you know how you can change it in completely different ways. You can make these bigger, you can upscale them, because as you saw, it was fold in half, twist around, fold in half, and then fold diagonally. So you could make these as big, if you wanted to make them as just as decorations, as big or as small as you want. Thanks ever so much for your time and company. Everybody who's taking part in the blog hop will be listed in the description. I will take some more close-up photographs of all my tags if you want to see them in a little bit more detail, and they'll be on my blog, and that will be listed below. Thanks ever so much for your time and company, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Take care.